Breaking news, Max Verstappen announced to leave Red Bull for Season 3, and so Red Bull announced that Geomatic will move from Racing Bulls to Red Bull, and Racing Bulls also announced a replacement for Geomatic, which is UE16. What is going on, guys? Welcome to episode 20 of my Mobile 2026 career mode, and we're here for the Monaco Grand Prix, and we're already on our first run of Q1, and we get provisional pole position with this run. And here are the results of Q1, and no many surprises in the end. Now let's jump into Q2 as we complete our lap. Down to the line we go. Where will they end up? It's again provisional pole position. Now let's head into the results of Q2, and now let's jump into Q3 to the end of the run. Onto the start finish straight we go, deploying our battery. There's no straight mode also here in Mobile, unfortunately. And in the end, it's pole position, our first pole position of the season. Finally, we can also start from the first row of the race. And here are the results. And now let's jump into the race day. Here we are at race day. Let's check out the qualifying results overall. I'll start from pole position. Next to me, it's Pole David 35, who will start from P2. And the rest is how it looks like right here. And now let's jump into the race. Here are the 5 red lights, and when they go off, the race is on here for the 5th race of season 2, and we get a horrible start. Pole David gets a better run and overtakes me around the outside and gets into the lead right away. Although we use the highest set of energy deployment, we still lose ground on him. But into this casino square, we're closing and closing when we had a little look on the inside, but it compromises our line massively, so we lose even more time. Now I deploy a little bit of overtake as we go into Mirabeau, and into the hairpin we go. Somehow my car doesn't really brake and we run wide, but Pole David starts clipping a little bit so we can use it side by side. We go into the tunnel, but they squeeze me into the wall and my car gets stuck, nearly stuck in the wall. As we go down to the harbor chicane, we make a massive dive bomb from way too far back, and we spin him out and turn him around, and he gets sent flying by other cars. Oh my days, this is insane. As we go into the back corner, we nearly get turned around too by Antonelli, who now loses a few positions, but somehow we managed to stay in P1, and my teammate DNFs. My teammate probably got stuck by Pole David, who was turned around, and the safety car came out. 2 hours later it came in again, so we are free to push now finally, and we are pushing away quickly. The AI doesn't really seem to get up to speed, and as we go into turn 1 we have already got a massive gap, and nearly 10 laps later I decided to come to the pits just before we lap the Aston Martin, and out of the pits we go in P4, so 3 drivers overtook us during the pit stop, and we went to the soft tires, so we are going to make a 2-stop strategy today. A lap later we caught up to Oscar Piastri in the McLaren, and we nearly bumped draft him as we exit the final corner. Somehow my battery is empty, and Verstappen got caught in lap cars, so we make up 1 place. We're now fighting with Oscar Piastri for P2, but he gets a better run on the outside and has more energy left, so stays in P2, and I am up to P3 for now. But now into the chicane, we get a better run on the exit of the chicane, and we make up the place of Piastri, but now we get stuck with Isaac Hadjar, and Oscar Piastri is now back into the lead. What the hell is wrong with this guy? And now he also comes to the pits. He held me up so long and then doesn't even continue his race. What the hell? And luckily another lap later, or 2 laps later, we caught up to Oscar Piastri again, and we are now finally released into the lead with a purple 3rd sector. But now the car didn't brake again. We collided into Sainte World and nearly lost the car again, but somehow we managed to stay in front of it, and Oscar Piastri had a little look into this casino square. Somehow we managed to stay in front of him for another few corners. And now, as we come into lap 16, we turn early into the second swimming pool chicane, and then we get turned around by Oscar Piastri, and Max Verstappen gets through, and we lose a huge amount of time. Somehow we held Oscar Piastri up long enough to stay in front of him. Then I had a little crash out of Verstappen and tried to kill him into the hairpin, but it wasn't successful as I literally carried on straight into the hairpin. And Oscar Piastri nearly overtook me, but here now we are finally able to overtake Verstappen a lap later, half a lap later, as we go into turn 1. Somehow we were able to catch up to him fairly quickly and land throughout the left as we come into the harbor chicane, and we have to defend Verstappen from overtaking me. As we go into the next corner now, we also have to defend as Verstappen had a little look into Tabak, and now a few laps later, what is the Alpine doing? I think his Gasly is stuck in the harbor chicane, and a few corners later, his teammate Slava is also stuck on the exit of the second swimming pool chicane. And another lap, few laps later, there's another car stuck. The Red Bull, I think it's Itakaja, as Verstappen is somewhere near behind me. As we go into Raskas, he's holding me up, and behind me it's a Cadillac who is also closing up on me as the Red Bull is holding me up so much. But somehow I managed to overtake him, but then he gets a better run and another car holds him up, and now we were finally able to lap him and also the other car, and somehow we managed to get safe through Sandevold. But now there's an Audi who's heading me up. Gabi Bortoleto is crawling on the middle of the track, still crawling middle of the track. Now I used to overtake a little bit, but it's not enough, so I have to try it around the outside in the Raskas, and now try to switch back move, racing with a back marker. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Somehow I managed to overtake him, and now also overtake another Cadillac, and the Haas comes out of the pits, and there's a Williams, now another Audi. This was Nico Hülkenberg who just came out of the pits, who somehow managed to get through all of them, and Williams again crawling on the middle of the track. And another few laps later, there's an Alpine again. Can you lap him as he's going into the final corner? Somehow we managed to lap him with no contact. In lap 24, I went in for my second and last pit stop of today's race, switching to new soft tires, and out of the pits we come still in P1, far ahead of everyone else. There are two cars who unlapped themselves, but now let me relap them again, so there are not many cars left. But now I get caught as we go into Sandevold. My car didn't brake again somehow, and I lose so much time. Luckily it's just backmarkers who unlap themselves as we try to rejoin the track out of Sandevold. My car just didn't turn into that corner. This was crazy. The car literally doesn't brake and doesn't turn. As you go into the tightest corner of the calendar again, around the inside and then around the outside, we lap a Haas. And we now go into the tunnel, and now into the back chicane. The Mercedes literally tried to kill me, and there's Cadillac who's stranded in Sandevold, the first corner. And then we get tangled again as we exit his casino square. What the hell? The third spin in this race today. And now also Verstappen, who was over a minute behind me, now overtakes me for the lead. Side by side we go with him into mirror, but somehow I squeeze him out and can stay in front of him for now. But can we also win this race, as it's already long and into the harbor chicane on the inside? All lap time gets deleted, but somehow we managed to lap a Haas and a Mercedes. Few laps later there are even more cars to lap as we come to Tabak again, side by side, 3 wide for a moment as we come to Tabak, and as we go into Raskas we lap Red Bull. We go for a gap that literally didn't exist, but somehow it still existed for us. And there's another Cadillac who's stranded, this time in, I forgot this corner's name. As we move on to the harbor chicane, there's another car stranded, this time an Aston Martin. He's sideways into the wall, and as we go into the swimming pool chicane, Williams gets sent flying by the curb, and now also we try to lap a McLaren. Can we make it into the Raskas? Somehow we can manage to lap the McLaren and also the Alpine as they exit the final corner onto the start finish straight. Somehow we lap 3 cars without any contact and narrowly avoiding an Audi who was crawling in the middle of the straight. And there's another Haas stranded in this corner as we go into the tunnel, and we nearly lost the car on the exit. As we go into the back corner once again, there's a yellow flag and a car stuck in the wall on the exit of the back corner, and we lap so many cars as we come into the second swimming pool chicane, and the car gets despawned as it got hopped over the curb and spun around over the fence and into the final corner. The Haas overtook 2 cars, and I get stuck in the wall by the Ferrari, and then I lap 5-6 cars on the one straight. This is so crazy. Alright, I was inside now trying to lap Alpine. but our lap time gets deleted once again as we come to the corner before the tunnel. We use a little bit of energy, but still it's not enough as the Austrian is closing and closing and closing into the harbor chicane with the fence, but it's not enough. He has a look on it and unlaps himself. But I tried to lap him again as we exit the harbor chicane, and now we lap some more cars as we go into the back. There's still the yellow flag as Isakaja is stuck in the wall still, and now I try to lap the Haas into the swimming pool chicane, and he tangles me around nearly. Somehow I managed to counter steer, and then I crashed out another time as I tried to kill him into Raskas. But a corner later I was finally able to lap him, and so that's another yellow flag. Oscar Piastri is sideways on the middle of the track, and we have to take a warning action and literally stop on the middle of the track. What the hell is wrong with the air? They are all spinning around on the track, and there we just lapped Williams somehow without contact as we go into the tunnel, and now into this harbor chicane once again. There are even more cars to lap: an Aston, a Ferrari, a Haas, an Audi, and nearly also a Mercedes. As we go to the back chicane, the yellow flag is still out there. As the yellow flags disappear, we right away lap the Mercedes, and we get pushed wide. The McLaren hops the curb and collides with us wrong way facing Haas, and also the Mercedes collides with them. 3-car carnage into the second swing push chicane, and as we exit the final corner, Audi holds me up and we bounce off him, but somehow we can lap him at the Alpine, and that's it for the race. This was a crazy race.
Fantastic drive. You are the race winner.
And here are the results. We somehow managed to get through it without any bigger damage than just tire scrubbing. And here are the results. In the end, Alex Albon managed to get to P5 in his Williams. And what a crazy result. Just look at yourself. And now let's check out the Drivers' Championship standings. Oscar Piastri moves up a few places and my teammate loses a few places. And in the Constructors' Championship standings, we even further built a gap. Our team was the team with the most scoring points.